In today's video, we are going to show you how to develop for the Play for Dream MR and other YVR headsets within Unity. The setup is fairly simple, but there are some things you need to keep in mind, so definitely follow along to get the best setup possible. First of all, of course, you need the Unity SDK. For this, download it right here, and it will download the SDK. You can also see the samples in the docs right here. They're open right here. There are some compatibility things for Vulkan and OpenGLES. And here are the samples right here. For example, the eye tracking, spatial mesh. There's plenty of samples here, so that's great. And I am going to use my YVR XR base project for Unity 6. So we are up to date with all the latest features. And this is tested on the headset itself, so that's great. Now within Unity, you do need to have a proper version. It is 2021 LTS or later. Personally, again, we are going to use Unity 6 for the best feature set possible. Once you install Unity 6, make sure to install the Android build support and both the OpenGDK and Android SDK. You can also add this later by clicking the gears icon and adding the modules right here. So the project is already opened up right here, but we do need to install the SDK itself. For this, extract the zip file we got, and from the zip file, once it is extracted, download YVR Core, YVR Interaction, Platform, and Utilities. You do not need Enterprise or Android Device Core at the moment, and those also won't fully compile, so that's good to keep in mind. Simply go to the packages folder of your Unity project and paste those packages right there, and this will make sure they are saved locally in the project itself. It will now import them all and probably also import XR Interaction Toolkit, which is fairly nice. Because the YVR and also once asked, definitely upgrade these scripts. But this works out of the box with all the features of XR Interaction Toolkit, so that's great to get up and going. If you use another SDK, you might need to manually add support to it, but that's up to that SDK to support the YVR settings. Once you start, it gives some recommendations. Personally, I do want to use Vulkan, so I'm going to uncheck that one. And for the rest, it wants to have auto rotate at landscape left, so just apply it. You can also input your app ID here, and you're good to go. Now we go to the package manager, and right here you can see that all the YVR packages are installed, and they are custom packages. That's good. There also is a sample right here if you need it for the platform SDK. But we are going to use some other samples. For the XR Interaction Toolkit, we are going to get the starter assets and also the hand interaction demo, because this headset does have hand tracking in it, so we want to see that in an actual demo, of course. This time we are going to close this and ignore any future prompts. And for the hand demo, you do need the hand visualizer as well. So import that as well. And now we are all good to go. Now next, in the YVR project setup tools, you can see anything you might have missed. Some stuff can be ignored. For example, first we are going to do the YVR Manager in the XR Plugin management. That's correct, we're going to do it later. You can get some performance tips right here. Definitely look into those. They are similar to Unity's project auditor. Also definitely check it out. And for porting, this one can be completely ignored as far as I know, so that's nice. In the project validation, I really hope they are going to move the YVR project setup tools to this project validation right here, but that's for a future version. We're going to switch to YVR. Sadly, they do not support OpenXR and don't have it as a high priority from what I've heard, so that's a bit of a bummer. But hopefully in the future they will also support Unity with OpenXR. But for now, YVR it is. In the YVR settings, there are definitely some settings we want to check. If you use Vulkan, it is really nice to check open buffer discards, since this will optimize MSAA and maybe some other rendering things. For the stereo rendering mode, I don't recommend to use multipass, it is just by far the slowest. I suggest to use quad views, and when it uses quad views, it will use the eye-tracked foveated rendering, which is a huge boost for GPU performance. It renders about half the pixels, and where you're looking at is actually rendered at a higher resolution, so that's pretty much the best way to go on the YVR headsets. If a headset doesn't support quad view, it will just fall back to multi-view, which is the single best option. So we are going to select quad views, which is the best one, and after that multi-view is a good alternative. For the other settings, I would say only change this if you need it. For example, if you need pass-through, you need to of course check the pass-through provider right here, and you can also use the P3 color space. For the YVR logs, this is something small that you can add support for better logging of YVR. For this, you can create a YVR Log Config and a YVR Log. Simply assign them right here. You can have a local path right here. Assign this one right here. And that's also all set up. Would be nice if everything would be under one section, but again, for now, this is the full setup. Now we are going to add support for YVR on our actual project itself. For this, we're going to samples and we are going to the hand demo we just imported. And now on the XR origin, it is very simple. You need to add YVR Manager. It is already pre-selected right here. Add it and you're usually good to go. There are some settings you want to change. For example, you can change the vsync count, and if you used fixed foveated rendering, you can change it here. But again, we used quad view, so this can be at off. You can also enable dynamic resolution, which can be a nice boost. And also, typically you want to use the recommended MSAA level, but if you want to set this manually, feel free to do so. For the tracking manager, this is at eye level. You can also put it at floor level or a stage. For the hand tracking, you want to use controllers and hands if you want to support hand tracking, like in this demo right here. And we don't use any AR features like spatial anchors and scene support. And we do want support for the eye tracking. I think large space support is only for the enterprise users, because I got some errors when I tried to set this up. But again, give it a go and maybe it works for you if you really need a large space to be set up. And that's pretty much all there should be to it. Since it uses the XR interaction toolkit by default, we're now pretty much set up and good to go. We are going to make a build after this. For this, you can check the settings right here, which I use. The quality settings for mobile are right here. And the player settings, again, these are all highlighted in my full video on this project. But you can see the settings right here as well if you want to quickly copy them over. I think the minimum API target should be at 25 for the YVR headset. We can quickly check that in the project setup tools. Yeah, it should be at 25 and the highest one should be at auto. That's something you might have to change as well. And there we go. Now we go to the build profile. It is currently already at Android. We will add our current demo scene, select our headset, and we're going to build and run this. Give it a great name. And now wait for it to be done. We can see right here in the console there were some warnings right here, but it has succeeded and we're good to go, and I will currently test it out in the headset itself to see if, well, everything works. So everything does work, both controller tracking and hand tracking run absolutely fine. There currently is an issue with pinch support in the hand tracking, so that's something to fix in the future, but it's probably going to be fixed in the next SDK release. But this is a quick guide on how to get up and running with XR Interaction Toolkit on the Play for Dream mixed reality. If you have some questions, let me know in the comments below, and I would love to hear your feedback there as well, since I would love to make more of these videos. So let me know, I'll talk to you later, and I'll see you in the next video.